The Necklace. In the heart of New York City's Upper East Side, there lived a woman named Lillian Montrose. She was elegant, poised, and known throughout the city's elite circles for her grace. Lillian was the daughter of an influential family, inheriting not only wealth but also a sense of duty to uphold the Montrose legacy. Yet beneath her polished exterior lay a deep loneliness, a void that neither lavish parties nor expensive trips could fill. Among her most cherished possessions was a family heirloom, a delicate antique necklace passed down through generations. The necklace was a symbol of her family's legacy, a stunning piece with intricate filigree work, encrusted with rare gemstones and a centerpiece sapphire that shimmered like the ocean at dusk. The necklace was her late mother's, and it held a sentimental value beyond its monetary worth. Lillian would often hold it in her hands, feeling a connection to the past, a connection to something real and meaningful in her otherwise hollow world. But one day tragedy struck. The necklace broke. The delicate chain snapped and the centerpiece sapphire fell to the floor, rolling under a table. Lillian's heart sank. For her, it wasn't just a piece of jewelry. It was her link to her mother, her heritage, her sense of self. She knew she had to find someone capable of restoring it, but no ordinary jeweler would do. She needed someone with skill, someone with an understanding of history and craftsmanship. Enter Ethan Rhodes. Ethan Rhodes wasn't from Lillian's world. He was a simple jeweler, working in a modest shop downtown. His talent for crafting and restoring fine jewelry had earned him a quiet reputation among those who valued true artistry over brand names. Ethan was passionate about his work. He saw beauty in the smallest details, the hidden intricacies of each piece he handled. Unlike Lillian, he lived a humble life, content with the simplicity of his days and the fulfillment that came from working with his hands. When Lillian first walked into his shop, Ethan was in the back, hunched over his workbench, meticulously setting a stone into a ring. He heard the soft chime of the bell and looked up, surprised to see a woman of such elegance standing in his doorway. Lillian's presence seemed out of place in his small, cluttered workshop. Her tailored coat and perfectly styled hair contrasted sharply with the dust-covered counters and the sound of the ticking clock on the wall. "Can I help you?" Ethan asked, his voice steady but curious. Lillian hesitated for a moment, unsure if this was the right place, but something about the warmth in his eyes and the quiet confidence in his demeanor reassured her. She carefully unwrapped the broken necklace from its velvet cloth and placed it on the counter in front of him.
"This belonged to my mother,"
she said softly, her fingers lingering on the delicate chain.
"It's been in my family for generations. I need it restored."
Ethan's gaze shifted from her face to the necklace. He recognized its craftsmanship immediately. This wasn't just any necklace, it was a masterpiece. He could see the years of history embedded in its design, the care that had gone into making it, and the love that had kept it in pristine condition for so long. "I'll take care of it," he said simply, sensing the emotional weight of the piece. A connection begins. Over the next few weeks, Lillian found herself returning to Ethan's shop more often than necessary. She would check on the progress of the necklace, but each visit seemed to linger longer than the last. They began to talk, not just about the necklace, but about their lives, their dreams, and their disappointments. Lillian was drawn to Ethan's world, a world so different from her own. In his shop, she found a sense of calm, a simplicity that she had never known in her life of luxury. Ethan, in turn, was captivated by Lillian's quiet strength and the vulnerability she tried so hard to conceal. One day, after discussing the final touches on the necklace, Lillian asked Ethan to join her for coffee. He hesitated at first, but there was something in her eyes that made him say yes. They sat in a small cafe around the corner, and for the first time, Lillian felt truly seen, not as the wealthy socialite or the Montrose heiress, but as herself. Ethan listened to her in a way that no one else had. He didn't care about her money or her status. He cared about her. Their conversations grew deeper, their connection stronger. They shared stories about their childhoods, their hopes for the future, and the things they loved most in the world. Lillian found herself laughing more, smiling more, and feeling a sense of freedom she hadn't known in years. Ethan, too, felt his world expanding. Lillian challenged him, intrigued him, and brought out a side of him that he hadn't known existed. They were from different worlds, but somehow they fit together perfectly. The necklace restored. When the day finally came for Lillian to pick up the restored necklace, there was a bittersweetness in the air. The necklace had brought them together, but now that it was complete, Lillian feared that it might be the end of their story. She walked into the shop, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread. Ethan handed her the necklace, now fully restored to its original glory. The sapphire sparkled under the shop's light, and the delicate chain glistened as if it were new. Lillian's eyes filled with tears as she held it in her hands, overwhelmed by the emotions it stirred within her.
It's perfect,
She whispered, looking up at Ethan with gratitude and something more, something deeper. But before she could leave, Ethan reached out and gently took her hand. "Lillian," he said softly, his voice filled with the same sincerity that had drawn her to him from the beginning. "This necklace may be a part of your past, but I hope you'll allow me to be a part of your future." Lillian's heart skipped a beat. She looked into his eyes and saw the same vulnerability she had been feeling all along. Without a word, she nodded, and in that moment they both knew that this was just the beginning of something far more precious than any piece of jewelry. The future. Lillian and Ethan continued to meet, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. They explored the city together, finding beauty in the small things, a walk in the park, a shared meal, or simply sitting in silence, enjoying each other's company. Lillian began to spend less time at high society events and more time in Ethan's world, where she felt truly alive. And Ethan, who had always been content with his simple life, found that his world had become richer and fuller with Lillian by his side. In the end, the necklace was more than just a piece of jewelry. It was a symbol of love, of connection, of two people from different worlds finding each other and discovering that the most valuable things in life aren't the ones you can hold in your hands. They're the ones you hold in your heart.